before you can really go forward in this course, we need to be clear on some common misconceptions. Now, if you want to learn more about these misconceptions and really understand why they are true, I teach a course in the fall, which is asynchronous online, called Languages of the World. Hopefully these will make sense to you without a lot of explanation by the end of the course, if they don't now. I really encourage you to memorize these 3 things. Get them into your head, have them very clear, because if these don't make sense to you or you're not clear, a lot of other things that we present in this course just aren't going to fit into place. So these are misconceptions that I commonly run into among people who aren't linguists or computer scientists. The first one is that writing is not language. Writing does not make a language real. It does not make it more of a language. Writing is not the natural state for language. Writing is not a language. It is only a representation of writing. We'll cover that a little bit more in the first 2 weeks, but I want to make sure that you're clear on this basic idea. There's a reason why creating a writing system for a language is sometimes referred to reducing the language to writing. It's a simplification, a simplified representation of language. It is not language. So that's a common misconception that I run into, even among highly educated folks. It's very interesting. The second one is that a language is not a collection of words. It's a system of structures. I often find, and I used to think this way, that when people think about translating from one language to another, their conception of how that works is something like a code. If you've ever played, maybe as a kid, they had these games, or you play logic puzzles where A is actually a T and C is actually representing a Z, and then you just have to figure out which letter is actually representing the other. I think they're called cryptograms, is one version of this. That's how people think of languages. If we can just match the word in this language to the word in this language, then we can figure it out. But that is not how languages work. Languages are much more complex than we realize. There's a lot of stuff going on underlyingly in our head, subconsciously in our head, that makes language works. And in fact, I wouldn't call them languages, but systems of communications that are just collections of words aren't considered really languages by language scientists. They're called pidgins. But okay, this is the misconception. Here's the truth to the misconception. A language is not a collection of words. A language is a system of structures. And I think you'll have a better idea of what this means by the end of this course. But again, if you memorize that, get that into your head, this is a foundational truth that we need to build on. And thirdly, artificial intelligence is neither artificial nor intelligent. This was a quote I heard or read from a computer scientist, and they went on to say, you know, people would probably be less intimidated or concerned about AI if we called it what it really is, which is complex statistical computing or complex computing. It's not intelligent in the way that humans are intelligent. I've had conversations with people about this. Some disagree, but it's always interesting. At some point, they will say, well, it depends on what you mean by intelligent. And I will say, isn't that interesting that here we are talking about intelligence and you think these computers are intelligent, but you can't really talk about their intelligence unless we redefine intelligence. The artificial part of that, I say that because it's not magic. Computers are wires, electrical currents, and pieces of plastic and metal. There's nothing artificial about it. There's nothing science fiction about it. Or as I like to put this, computers are dumb. You may hear me say this anytime you talk to me, even in some of the videos for this course. Computers are dumb. Compared to languages, computers are rather simplistic systems. This may not seem true because you use language all the time, and again, you don't realize the system of structures that you have underlyingly in your head. But compared to languages and other things, honestly, computers are dumb. Or another way of putting this is humans are in charge. Humans control computers. Humans program computers. So however you want to memorize that third one, these are the 3 misconceptions these are the 3 truths to the misconceptions that you should have clear in your head. And again, if you just go ahead and just memorize them if they're new to you, even if you don't understand them, I think they'll be clear by the end of this course. But you kind of have to accept these as truth before we can actually make sense of the rest of the course.